All right. Hey guys, really fast. I just wanted to show a demo of Aether's AI online estimator for roofing workflows, and then the second video will be for solar. So the way it works is, imagine if you went to, as you can see on my screen, right, a roofing company's website. So here's their Citadel Roofing and Solar. Here's American Home Contractors. Here's Bulldog. If you are a homeowner, right, and you wanted to schedule a estimate, what happens right now is you're going to put some information into a lead flow and then press send. The second next best option is there are a few tools such as Roofer, which I'll compare Aether to, and it's very generic, right? Pretty much the same the same output, which is hey, builds kind of a slightly shinier lead flow, and then tries to do some prediction on pricing, but that's about it. So with Aether, what's really amazing with the AI online estimator is that it's highly customizable. That's one, right? You can put your branding. Really, you can customize from the ground up however you want. That's one. The second is it is a 3D output that I'm going to walk you through. So I can speak a lot, but I think it's better we just jump into this. So in Aether here, you can see on the left side, here's the AI online estimator, right? I've built a few. I'm just going to edit this one just to kind of show you guys how to set up a template, etc. So here you can see, right, there's different pages we're going to have. So this is page one, this is page two. Here, this is the target company, right? We're building this for, I think they're called Infinity Home Services. Here you can see there's a page two, right? So there's some questions I've input, and then you can also you can also put questions as you want, right? This is what I meant. Aether's super customizable. You can also change the image. So for instance, let's just say I just went on their website. I saved the image as Infinity Car Wrap, and then I'm going to go back into Aether, and I'm going to replace this this guy and the truck with this one. And let me just make it slightly bigger. Okay, that looks good. So this is what I meant, right? The whole flow is customizable. There's a lot of different things you can put in videos, etc. And now I'm going to save it. All right. So remember, so this is the lead flow. We've created this in Aether, right? And this is how page one looks. All right. We're now going to make this. We're going to go into this website. This is a dummy website I've made using Lovable, and you can see, right? This would be, imagine this is your company's website, right? Imagine your company's name is Infinity Home Services, right? A homeowner, what they're going to do, right, if they're interested in a roof inspection, a re-roof, maybe even an insurance quotation, they would click here, right? So you would embed, okay, this is the button, right? You would say, hey, this is the button. When clicked, Aether is launched, right? So you can still see it's in your URL, and it's pulling up on this website. It's pulling up this template that I made, right? So let me just make it. I mean, this is great. So the house that I like is. I think it's 9 Vista, so one sec. Okay, let me just go back into the house that I really like to demo. It's 9 Vista Road, Inglewood. Okay, sorry. All right, so this is the house that I like to demo at. It's a big house. The key important thing to remember here is Aether is AI driven, right? So, oh, sorry, one second. Let me just put some budget. Yes. What type of roof do you like? I don't know. And then the label is showing up because I saved the template and I forgot to remove this, right? So this is what I meant. It's really easy to customize it and change it. So the big thing to remember is Aether is manual and AI driven, but this flow uses our computer vision model. What it does is basically taking the geometry of the house, right? And then it's going to output a 3D model to the homeowner. And then it is tied in the back into the pricing that's set up for this organization. And that is how we get, for instance, the contract price here, right? So now, if you're a homeowner, right, let's just say you were asking for a re-roof quote, and this is what they would get, right? So this is the house, right? They're here. They're saying, okay, this is the square footage of the house. This is the roof area, right? Here is the contract price. They're seeing some other items, right? Like how many facets there is, etc. Now, if they were to scroll down, right, we're using LiDAR here to show this imagery. It's a little bit more realistic, but they're saying, okay, they can see some views of this house and how it looks, right? Here is the roof layout. And then the next thing is, right, for you as a business, you're trying to explain, hey, here's this initial measurement. This is what you can expect if you do the complimentary consultation call with us, right? So at this point, I would say, right, I've been a homeowner and I've gone through this workflow, and I think this is great, right? Again, this is highly customizable. You would put whatever you want, but the thing that for me, I think as a homeowner that I'm very peaked at is that I was able to get this measurement report without, right, calling someone's call center or waiting maybe 24 to 72 hours on getting a report back. And then I was able to do this without, any sales rep being involved up at this point. So at this point, I think if you are a business owner, you've slightly won them to some extent, right? So here, if you're a homeowner, right, I would just put Zane Sagar homeowner. I would put the email, and then I would put this is phone number, and now it's submitted. So this, right, at this point, now what happens, or I guess before I go into what's next, at this point, now the lead has come through in Aether, right? You can see here is that home. This is 9 Vista Ingle Road, right? This is the person who submitted it. So if you now are working in the back office, right, you could say, okay, this lead has come through. Let me just look, right, like you would be able to look at the light roof report, but you could also start working this for a production app, right? So what I mean is you could convert this into a deal in Aether. Just give this a few seconds, right? You could also see more details about the homeowner, right? This is obviously a house in a very wealthy area, right? Super expensive. Probably a big ticket contract, right, if it went through. Now, the production team, right, in Aether, right, so for instance, the AI ran, it did miss this roof face, right, so we can come here, I'll just delete this really fast, and then I will use this to redraw. I've got that. And let me just go back. Let me press Fit to LiDAR. And you've got that face, right? So you could also come in here and you can make edits to these line items, right? So for instance, the line back here, I'm just going to go really fast just for this demo, right? Should be here. There should also be a point that brings this in. So one sec, let me just find a point. And let me bring it in. Cool. So this is what I mean, right? As in, the online estimator is a great way to really get a quick fire quotation out. And in truth, with our measurements, right, it's about 94 to 95% accurate in terms of the initial outputs. It is a computer vision AI model, and it is improving, right? So over time, I would say how close it matches to the actual one that a production estimator would make will be fairly close in probably a few months. Now, the important thing with Aether is you were able to see you could get a lead. It went through, right? You were able to customize this house. Now you can, if you wanted to, right, you would, in Aether, you would rerun label edges and you would be able to build a measurement report. So here, now, for that same deal that came through, right, we could say, okay, this is the house, right? That's what the homeowner saw, but here are all the measurements, right? So you could say, okay, this is, right, for example, these are all the eaves. Yep, that looks correct. These are the valleys. That looks correct, etc. So you have the measurement report. And now if you wanted to go and present this to the actual homeowner, right? So in between, maybe there's a workflow builder step that ran, or you guys manually called the homeowner and set up an appointment. You would be able to present, right, using one of the templates in Aether that you have, this presentation. And again, right, this is highly customizable. You'd be able to come to the quote page, see all of the line items, right, for the product that you've priced. And this is all done in one workflow. It's super, super easy for sales reps to figure out how to use. So, yeah, I mean, at this point, I hope this shows how powerful just this flow in Aether is. And again, if you were to compare this to any existing, right, tool that's here, I mean, even if we went to a head-to-head, right, for instance, with Roofer here, which is, I think, the #1 tool, this is how, right, the two look next to each other. And this is not to put them down, it's just to show kind of where the 10x in the technology is, right? So, for instance, on the right side, we have Aether. on the left side, you have roofer. You would click this house, right? You would press continue. You would say how steep is your roof, right? And then again, these are questions you can also put in Aether, right? With imagery. And then you would eventually get to, super long. Right. Then you would eventually get to a page. So just give this a few seconds. And I think their app might have just went down. So I can't compare it, but the output would have just, okay, this is the output, right? So it's not to say this is bad, but the point is you have just 10x this workflow in Aether and really taken the market. I mean, homeowners and the digital experience way up ahead in terms of time. So again, please feel free to reach out to me. The other thing I think you guys would be interested in is learning more about the product, right? You can go onto Aether here, the AI online estimator, and you can understand more about the product, how it's built from the ground up, what are the things, right, that you can use it for. And then the other thing is I will give this link publicly to people so you guys can try out different houses. The important thing to realize is because this is tied to my demo account, it will not switch to other high resolution providers such as Nearmap in the US and others in Europe. So just keep that in mind. Cool. I hope this helped. Hopefully I see tons of uses from everyone on this platform and product. Cool. Bye-bye.